What is the sad truth about smart people? The smarter you get, the more you realize you don't know. Intelligence is like four-wheel drive. It just lets you get lost in more remote places. A garrison killer. They have no effect on dumb people's opinions. Expectations. In Asian culture, parents want you to succeed because it is your responsibility to uplift their lives. Our school system, Australia, isn't built to deal with them. It crushes bright kids down to everyone else's level. The usual solution is just to give them extra work to do on top of the assigned work when they finish that too fast. But to a kid, that's a punishment. In this way, achieving beyond a certain accepted parameter is quietly discouraged. They are full of doubt compared to people who are not smart. There's different levels of smartness and different smart people go about life in different ways. But I think universally young prodigies are typically isolated. They are at a level far above children their age, but are far younger than the people that match intellectually with, lacking life experience. Either way, a young prodigy can't connect with either group. A lot of them are depressed. They don't always find ways of living up to their potential. Expectations. Expectations. Never learning to study until it is too late. Being forced to learn outside of your age-related interests. Being terrified of failure. Not being able to balance ambition and said fear of failure. Once again. Expectations. My mother put so much pressure on me at such a young age I couldn't handle it. I have done well for myself as an adult, but will never be able to live up to those expectations set by her and others. I should probably go back to therapy. Mental illness rates are dramatically higher. _. Being smart enough to know you're right while dealing with people too stupid to know they're wrong is soul crushing. There are different types of intelligence. Being good at physics doesn't mean that you should manage people. All the smart kids that turned into smart adults are severely burnt out and need a break for everything. I want to be one, which means I'm not. They are often miserable and able to thoroughly understand their misery and failures. I think truly smart people, those genuinely rare geniuses, are so smart that the rest of us can't even comprehend it. It must be a very strange feeling going through life knowing that most people just can't see and understand the things you do. Not being inherently competitive but able to be crushed instantly by failure. The sad truth is that being smart isn't even a particularly good indicator in living a happy and fulfilling life. You could be extremely smart and intellectually capable, but if you got beat up as a kid, your parents died, you developed some personality disorder, etc., you're way worse off than someone well adjusted with a below average intelligence. Lots of people will be jealous of them and resent them, including family members. Constant overthinking leading to chronic depression and isolation. It's sad to see dumb people making dumb decisions in front of your eyes and not be able to do anything but only give them advice. Most helpful advice are a waste. Most dumb people argue a lot instead of reflecting as well, using critical thinking. So you will never win an argument against a dumb or biased person. So just walk away and tell them they are right. It can be very lonely. Intelligence doesn't always mean wisdom. Yes. AskReddit. The community where everybody thinks they're a genius. Many very intelligent young people are poorly stimulated and challenged. Without the proper mental exercise, they're unlikely to live up to their potential. Common sense is not a gift. It is a punishment. Because you have to deal with everyone who doesn't have it. Smart does not automatically mean /ethical, /empathic, /conscientious, /realistic, /creative, /prosocial. We waste them. Our entirely social structure, from schools to mortgages, are designed for people with very average intellectual abilities. Smart people have to deal with the daily stress of living in a system that isn't built for them, and lose a lot of their productivity and take a real hit to their mental health as a result. If we stopped subjecting them to standardized systems designed against them, just imagine how much further we would have advanced as a species. Edit. Just a small edit to clear up some confusion. I'm not advocating for designing our social structure to suit only the smartest X% of our population. For those who aren't familiar with inclusive design, mostly talked about when talking about designing digital systems, but the principle is cross-applicable. The basic idea is to design systems that provide room for different people to be able to use/fit into the system equally well despite their differences. There is absolutely no reason why we all have to live the same way, or why we should be forcing people to live in a world that doesn't have room for people like them. They'll never be the smartest. There's always someone better, someone smarter, someone more popular. Feel they can't have fun because they analyze everything. Intelligent people can't state that they're intelligent because people view that as a sign of not being intelligent. But also, if you laud yourself around for being intelligent, there's the implication that you're belittling everyone around you by saying you're better than them. And people don't like that. If other people recognize a person as intelligent and respect that, then there are no problems. But a lot of the times people won't do that because it gets in the way of their own pride, and if they do, then I find they're more likely to have more insecurities/less self-esteem. Then there's also the fact that intelligence is often conflated with success. Basically, people suck at gauging other people's intelligence, and that causes problems. I know a guy that is literally a genius. No new talent believes it though, until they meet him for themselves. He is really eccentric, and went 4 years without wearing shoes. Writes down smart people don't wear shoes. Severe depression. People try to take advantage of them. They're full of doubt, while stupid people are full of confidence. Plenty of smart people will live their whole lives never realizing they're smart. And plenty of not smart people will live their whole lives believing they are. Rate of reproduction. Smart people have far fewer kids than morons. They don't visit r/AskReddit, so they will never be able to answer you. Sadness. Alienation and the feeling you are never enough. You probably aren't one of them. Sorry Reddit. Intelligence doesn't correlate with happiness. My daughter was a prodigy who was consistently off the charts academically for her age group. She was way ahead of the rest of her school pretty much everything including music and sports, and ended up as valedictorian of her gifted high school, and with full ride academic scholarships. But she has always struggled with depression, loneliness, and anxiety. She's in college now, and things a bit better. But it's an ongoing struggle to balance intelligence with the need for socialization. Being smart isn't all that useful. It's doing smart things that matters. Loneliness. Hard to find other people who think and or feel as deeply as you do. I have a PhD in astrophysics and work as a researcher at a university. I'm by no means at the top of my field, but I'm in the upper echelon. And I work directly with people who are the top of their field, including a Nobel laureate. Based on my very limited experience, this thread is completely filled with COPE. The overwhelming majority of people who I work with are perfectly normal people who just happen to be very smart. They probably enjoy nerdy stuff more than the average punter. But in all honesty, the bulk of my non-work conversation with my colleagues is discussing either cricket or footy over a beer. All the people above me are perfectly functional members of society. Most have a spouse and many have kids. So all this shit about every smart person being a depressed geeky psychopath is flat out wrong. That's not to say there's not weirdos and oddballs out there. I'm a clinically depressed alcoholic, so I'm not one to judge. My point is more that it's a very stereotypical Reddit thing to talk about how you're such an enlightened being solely because you don't fit into the societal norms. And this thread is absolutely chockers with people claiming that they're smart enough to make the best leaders, but also smart enough to know that politics is a shit show / popularity contest which would frustrate them to death. So we're stuck with power-hungry trust fund babies and very few idealists. A catch-22 of the worst kind. All the responders think they are the smart ones and their smartness is socially alienating them. Except me. I'm truly smart. Close bracket. They're not as smart as they think they are, or as smart as people tell them they are. Source. Sailed through school and had lots of people tell me how smart I was all the time. Now no, I just have the ability to think critically and put a lot of effort into learning about things. And have average IQ. Yeah, probably not one. And they're probably smart enough to have social skills. Everyone on Reddit likes to pretend they don't have friends because they're too smart for normal people. What was your favorite comment? Let us know below. And remember to like and subscribe, it helps a lot.